Welcome to the world of fix, where we fix everything from the crack of dawn to a broken heart. On this week's episode, I'm going to introduce you guys to the G37X that I picked up. This is going to be a bit trickier fix. This car has 0 miles on it. It was a flood damaged car out of New York. I got it in pretty decent shape. The body is nice and straight, but being a flood damaged car, all the electronics are shot. Let me go ahead and give you guys an overview of the G37. So it's a black, but it has a little bit of a purple flake in it. Let's see if I can get it to be exposed. Let me just scratch the paint here. Some things that were missing when I purchased the car was the driver and the passenger seats. They have the electronics to them. Apparently one of the previous owners of this car that tried to repair it thought that he could make some quick money off of them. Don't blame him. So I've started to tear apart the interior and get at the electrical system, because we're going to find a few things with all the computers that these cars have. We're going to find rust, oxidation, corrosion. We're going to find bad contacts on all the pins. One of the things that I noticed immediately when I started looking at this car was this huge rat's nest of wire splices. I'm not okay with this. One of the first things I'm going to be doing is pulling out this body harness and figuring out what splices did they make. Some of these are different colors on both ends. This one right here that I'm touching, it is green to blue. Who did that? Why did they do that? One of the things that I have done already, knowing that some of the electronics would be fried, is I went ahead and bought from my local parts store, aka eBay, I went and bought a full new key assembly, ECU, BCM, fuse panels, and all the computers that are keyed to the vehicle. There's a very sophisticated coding system that needs to happen between the keys and handshakes that happen between all of the computers on the CAN bus. Now, I could pay to have the ECU and the door handle and everything recoded. The key is just completely destroyed for this vehicle. There's no salvaging this guy. There's a limit to how much work I'm willing to put into rebuilding electronics. This passes that. I'd much rather buy it as a full set. I got this for $300 for everything shipped. I wanted to share some knowledge for those of you who don't have experience in electronics. It is always a good idea to store or ship electronics in ESD bags. ESD stands for electrostatic discharge. Electronics are very susceptible to static charges and can be damaged easily. If you don't have access to ESD bags, do not wrap electronics in paper or plastic, as these surfaces typically carry static charges. ESD bags are available online and are fairly inexpensive. One of my first goals with this car is to get the engine to start and to get it to move on its own power. Without that, to me, it's just a big dead weight. It seems like it's been that way for everyone else as well. One of the first things I'm going to do to this car is I'm going to go through and remove the electrical harnesses and inspect all the grounding points and clean every single one of them to make sure the electronics are plugged in, happy, and connected. We gotta keep our electronics happy in order for our electronics to work. Huh, Vixen? Huh, it's a good pupper. So I've been working on it for a while, and it's interesting. The more you tear into projects like this, the more you learn about their history a little bit, if you have an open mind to it and are willing to see what's going on. Found out that this windshield's not the original windshield. I found some window weld on the dashboard. So I'm starting to think that what happened to this car in terms of water damage wasn't that it flooded the car, because The engine and the trunk don't show any signs of flood damage to them, and very little rust, but the whole dashboard is just rusted like crazy. I think that something happened when the car was being loaded, or there was an accident or a big storm and it broke the windshield, and they didn't replace it, because everything underneath where the windshield is just completely destroyed and damaged. It's rusted out really, really bad. All the electrical connectors look like garbage. So I'm starting to think that's what happened to this car, but of course, the more I dig into it, the more I'm going to learn about it. So obviously this car is going to be a pretty big project in terms of just a fix. It's not a quick fix by any means. So I'm going to make other videos of the progress I make on it. I don't know how long it's going to take me. I'm kind of working on it until the project's done, until it's running, or until I have to scrap the car out. I'm hoping that doesn't come to that. Go ahead and like and subscribe for part 2.